Bueno, han sido los inicios del English Fest y ahora nos vamos a ir a la parte fuerte de esta jornada, donde están nuestros invitados esperando. Quiero comenzar con el profesor Julio Parada, quien nos va a dar una reseña histórica de la carrera. Él aceptó inmediatamente cuando fue invitado a esta jornada. El profesor Julio Parada profesor de literatura inglesa y norteamericana, de cultura y civilización inglesa y norteamericana, y fue profesor de la mayoría de los que estamos acá, porque él empezó muy, muy, muy joven, así es que esa es la razón por qué alcanzó a hacernos clases a todos. Profesor, muy bienvenido y le doy la palabra.
Hola, buenos días. Gusto saludarlos a todos. Quiero decirles en principio que estoy muy asustado por estar frente a este aparato. Yo nunca hice clase con estas cosas, ¿ya? Y escucho que los profesores de enseñanza media de universidad están todos trabajando con esto. Y no sé, Dios sabe cómo hacer las cosas. En el momento oportuno me fui porque yo estaría mortally scared, ¿no? Enfrentando estas cosas todos los días. Bueno, dicho eso, los felicito a ustedes por la habilidad con que se manejan con todo esto, ¿no? Y con toda esta nueva tecnología y las posibilidades que ellos tienen, ¿ya? Y si ustedes me autorizan entonces, Marian, si me autorizan, parto con mi tema. Entiendo que tengo 15, 20 minutos de poner.
Sí, profesor, the floor is yours en este momento.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Well, so then let me start saying, first of all, that I appreciate very much your invitation and that I might share with you some ideas and some points in connection with the history, la historia de esta carrera de pedagogía en inglés en La Serena, ¿ya? Sí, me parece una cosa interesante, ¿no? Pero cuando me invitaron también me quedó algo así como un poquito, que había un poquito de reproche, ¿no? Porque en el texto se llama, ¿no? Connecting Generations, ¿no? ¿Is that so? Connecting Generations, ¿ya? Entonces, de alguna forma, sí, yo estoy conectando desde los orígenes casi de la carrera hasta el tiempo presente, lo cual me hace pensar en cierta forma que soy una especie de living fossil, ¿no? El living fossil de la carrera de inglés, ¿ya? Pero sí, es cierto, está unido a esta universidad y a esta carrera de inglés por 51 años. Desde el año 1968, en que empecé como estudiante, hasta el año 2019, en que me retiré. Entonces he podido vivir bastante del tiempo de esta carrera, ¿ya? Y sí, yo creo que esta carrera empezó como una de las primeras carreras de la sede local de la Universidad de Chile, de la sede regional, y esta carrera empezó en el año 1963 aproximadamente. Yo no sé exactamente porque algunas personas con las que he conversado me dicen, todo empezó en realidad en el año 1962 con uno o dos cursos nada más, una o dos asignaturas, ¿ya? Y que posteriormente, pasado un segundo año, los estudiantes debían ir a Santiago a completar sus estudios. Pero eso no fue muy claro al principio, ¿ya? De tal forma que uno podría pensar que efectivamente la carrera empezó por el año 1963, ¿ya? Siendo entonces una de las más antiguas, las carreras más antiguas de esta sede universitaria, ¿ya? So, if we consider from 1963 to the year 2020, yeah, we have then what? We have 57 years of history, and 57 years is not too much to create an institution, yeah, but it's quite a lot for the person, for the human being, yeah. And so what has happened in these 57 years? I would say we can distinguish three different stages. I can distinguish in a way three different stages in the development of the English career. Pero yo estoy haciendo aquí fui invitado a dar mi visión personal. Por tanto, voy a decir cosas como yo las vi. A lo mejor me equivoco, a lo mejor discrepamos, pero fue así como yo las sentí. I think we can talk about the first stage about this English program, which started in 1963 and covers up to more or less the year 1974. This is the time that we might call, it's the time of the founders, professors like, I want to mention those professors as a kind of homage to those professors who started this career here, okay? There were Professor Ramon Morales, who was the first director, coordinator of this program. And also he was the teacher of literature. Yeah, Javier Osorio, professor of grammar and Latin, Elena Acuña, professor of phonetics, Jose Iñeta, professor of language, Betty Crasa, professor of language, Silvia Nimose, professor of methodology and American literature. Now, in this first stage, now the academic approach of this program was centered on basically on literature. There were at the time, 14 semesters of literature in this program. 14 semesters. What is it now? 2, 3 semesters? Yeah. And apart from literature, then there was a heavy component of a kind of what we might call a grammar translation approach to the study of languages. How would you say this in English? It was the kind of thing in which they said, there's a clock on the wall behind you, or the boy plays with the cat, okay? It was a kind of mechanical exercise with tremendous scarcity of means, yeah? In a sense, we are very poor in terms of material and technological equipment, yeah? The only thing needed to teach English was a blackboard, chalk, and the teacher, okay? We used to work with books such as the grammar, descriptive grammar, that we had to learn by heart, the Eckersley grammar, yeah? And the books by Stannard Allen, Pete Corder, and every student was supposed to carry around this heavy, bulky learner's dictionary to go anywhere with the learner's dictionary. Apart from that, we had stencil and dittos to work, yeah, but nothing else. Okay, that's the way we did it. Yeah, we didn't have the opportunity to talk English or to speak English with anyone because there were no opportunities. And I remember that Pepe Iniesta used to tell us, now you have to listen to the radio on the short wave as you could listen something of English. But it was listening to the radio, and you know how the thing was with these sounds in short wave radio sets. Yeah, that was it. Okay, this is the first time, yeah, in which we started. There were no opportunities to travel abroad. Yeah, and those students who, for one or another reason, might have gone abroad, like in this case, America, for instance. America, you went in a program, yeah, abroad, the same as Kela Varga or some other students, because you were given a scholarship by scholarships that were achieved by the professors themselves. Okay, and these are students who had gone to the United States or to the States. Basically, we looked at them as if they had gone to the moon or to Mars. Yeah, because it was practically impossible to think of that. Yeah, that was the way we started. Okay, now this first stage came to an end, I would say, about the year 1974. Why about that? Because in the early 1970s, some professors retired or moved somewhere else, yeah, in the tumultuous events of those years in the country. Okay, and these teachers were replaced by assistants who had been good students, and that is the time of our generation, yeah, of teachers like, let me see, like Maria Eugenia Ceroni, yeah, America Cobo, Kela Vargas, Berta San Martin, and me. Okay, we had been good students. We had graduated as teachers. We were then very young. Okay, and then at the time, no graduate studies were needed. That was not in the Chilean tradition. Okay, Universidad de Chile, usually that was the leading university in the country. Okay, prepared students once and for all, for all life. So nobody was supposed to come back to the university to take other courses. Yeah, so it was enough if you were a teacher. Okay, and then you started working. So we started then. By 1974, then there was this change of the staff of teachers. Yeah, and then we took over. Okay, this time this second stage was characterized by a new methodological approach to the study of languages based on linguistics, on the developments of the science of linguistics, and the new developments in psychology. Okay. Linguistics and psychology provided then the theoretical basis that was not present in the first stage. Yeah, it was not something purely mechanic or just something to learn by heart. Yeah, but there was here a theoretical basis. Yeah, and then teachers, yeah, we were required then to update our studies. We had to take graduate programs in other Chilean universities, Universidad Católica, Católica de Valparaíso, Universidad de Chile, Universidad de Santiago, basically, yeah. And there was also a change in the textbooks. Textbooks became much more interesting and challenging, yeah, in cultural contents taken from five more. Oh gosh, yeah, much more challenging in science, physiology. We were very much interested in the idea of the left and right hemispheres. Yeah, contents taken from social behavior, etc. Yeah, literature has lost some of its importance, but cultural studies then became or got a solid background. Yeah, by this time also in the 1970s we had the first English laboratory that was run by Ana Maria Cortés. Probably some of you met her. In the 1980s also, yeah, we made some teachers made the first attempts at research. Yeah, this time led by Miguel Farias, and they started a kind of association between professors in the music department, in psychology department, and English, yeah, to work together in Suggestopedia. Okay, it was just an attempt. Yeah, we were never very strong in research. Yeah, this is probably because we didn't have the training enough in this area. Yeah, it was one of our weak points. Yeah, but also the second stage was characterized by an avalanche of new gadgetry and technology. Okay. There were photocopiers, computers, radio cassette recorders, MP3s, and later internet. Blackboards became whiteboards. Chalk was replaced by markers, and teachers were growing older. Okay, and then in the 1980s also the chips revolution with the cell phones, tablets, notebooks, pen drives, etc. Yeah. Now, this set of new gadgetry implied new demands of more accuracy in the teaching. Yeah, students could check on the spot the meaning or pronunciation of word or the exactness of an event or date that we were giving in classes. Yeah, while teachers then we were challenged by the idea to find out if the students were plagiarizing or not in their take-home papers. Okay. The 1990s brought a decade the idea of globalization. Yeah, an international exchange of students became more common. Yeah, and also by the year 2000, then the semester abroad program, yeah, promoted by the Ministerio de Educación. After the turn of the century, after the year 2000, then the idea of accreditation became also another demand. Yeah, and all of this implied higher standards for all teachers and students. Yeah. By this time, also some students began taking international tests from Cambridge University or TOEFL exams, etc. Yeah, and they were doing remarkably well. Yeah, all of this meant a revolution in the way of teaching and learning. Yeah, but by the year 2010, many of the teachers of my generations were getting to the age of retirement after some 40 years of teaching. I was the last one to follow suit in the year 2019. I left in the midst of a long strike just before the pandemic. So what can I say about the time in which I left? I said my personal view. In these first 50 years of the program, we, teachers and students, tacitly agreed on some basic shared values, like responsibility, mutual respect, respect for our studies, punctuality, all of this, which I would call love and pride for the job well done. What was it that brought us together? Was it the language? Was it culture? I don't know, but it was our seal. Part of that identity which I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation. Yeah, this identity which has been created through the years. Yeah, it was that attitude which allowed us to keep an open and friendly dialogue, far from any extreme and violence, and which I would like to see as a spirit that animates you in your daily interaction. When I retired, it was the right time for me, yeah, because the online classes are here to stay, and this implies new methodological approaches and evaluation techniques. Also, international teaching is going to come, in which students will take courses from here with professors in other universities throughout the world, and vice versa. Okay, agreements with other universities must be reinforced. Yeah, technology has changed the paradigm for good. Okay, online teaching and international endeavors and projects require more creative and more excellent in academic writing procedures. Okay, but there's something which is not going to change, I guess, and I hope, and this is the human touch. Okay, the human contact. Now, technology cannot replace then the eye contact, the handshake, okay, the body language, yeah, which is going to be tremendously necessary, principally when you work with young people like teenagers, for instance, because I think as the world goes, yeah, for many young people, the teacher will be perhaps the only reference that he or she can find to guide his or her own life. Yeah. But so then after saying this is the third stage, yeah, which comes to an end when we, the second generation, retire. And then, excuse me, you start then with the third generation of teachers for another stage in the development of this program. We have to look ahead to the future, yeah, and to ask ourselves some questions, yeah. Which is going to be the role of English in this extremely interconnected and stressed world? Which are going to be the new approaches? Yeah. Are we going to have classes which are more enlightened? Yeah. More in which the teaching of language is going to be more integrated with social studies and scientific approaches? What is it going to be like in the next 40 years? Perhaps some of the students who are here watching this presentation today, in 40 years' time, will still be working, okay? What is going to happen? Yeah, how is it going to be if the world, if the country? Who might have imagined just 2 or 3 years ago, this thing of the pandemic? What is going to happen in 40 years' time when this English program comes to the first century of life? Yeah. So those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. I do not have the answers. Yeah. But I would like to end this presentation paraphrasing an English writer, T.S. Eliot. Yeah. And somewhat change his ideas. But I would like to think that in this world of ours, flooded with information, this information might become knowledge. And this knowledge eventually might become true wisdom. That's it. Thanks a lot.
Muchas gracias, profesor.
Muchas gracias, profe.
Se puede escuchar desde acá los aplausos, están los aplausos dados para usted.
Okay, thank you.
En esta sección Javier va a moderar si alguien quiere hacer comentarios o consultas al profesor. Tenemos, como estamos con el tiempo bien acotado, 7 minutos para consultas y comentarios, ¿ya? La idea es poder levantar la mano y Javier va a ir dando la palabra.
Primero le vamos a dar la palabra a nuestra compañera Génesis, que nos va a hacer un pequeño resumen de los comentarios hasta el momento de la presentación del profe.
Bueno, tenemos varios comentarios referidos al libro al que se mencionó el profesor. Por ejemplo, Luis Patricio dice que odiaba el libro, pero aprendió mucho. Por aquí tenemos a Miss Sandra que dice, great book, who can deny it? Al profesor Elvis Campos hizo referencia a los Firefoxes cuando comentaste que habíamos elegido al zorro como mascota.
Purple Foxes.
Tenemos otro comentario de Miss Sandra que dice, everybody's going there. Fue cuando el profesor mencionó que él era como un fósil. Y Miss Sandra dijo que claro, que todos íbamos como para ese para ese lugar. Más que nada, esos son los comentarios que aparecen. Acá aparece el profesor Elvis, dice, thank you, professor Parada. Sade, thank you, professor. Sandra Santander, great as always.
Muchas gracias, Génesis. Ahora le vamos a dar la palabra primero al director de la escuela, Elvis Campos, que tiene algunos comentarios o preguntas para el profesor Julio Parada.
Muchas gracias. Buenos días a todos. Es un placer saludarlos. Estoy disfrutando realmente esta sesión con muchos recuerdos a propósito de lo que dice el profesor Parada. Un gusto de verlo, profesor América y tantos colegas que no nos hemos visto en mucho tiempo. Solamente quiero hacer una reflexión de cuando yo ingresé a la universidad. Todo transcurría en lo que se llama ahora la casa colonial. Entonces, ese primer piso de la casa central de la universidad era como el centro de donde todo lo concerniente a la carrera de inglés ocurría allí. ¿Ah? Estaba el laboratorio de idiomas ahí también entrando. eh, a la mano izquierda, la primera oficina era un laboratorio de idiomas. Ya un poquito más allá estaban las oficinas de los profesores, profesor Olivares, el profesor Parada, la profesora Mónica, que hacía literatura, y yo me acuerdo que esas escalas ahí contenían la vida de la universidad. Digamos, ahí nosotros esperábamos que nos llamaran a la tortura de relatar qué había entendido del libro, no sé cuánto, que estaba en un libro verde que nos hacían comprar, que estaba escrito a máquina. Y bueno, eso me llegó en este momento de que al escuchar al profesor Parada y el nombre de los primeros profesores de la carrera, cuando uno escuchaba con terror la señora Elena Acuña, y uno empezaba a temblar y ni siquiera la conocía, digamos, ¿eh? Porque solamente había escuchado a los compañeros de los cursos superiores decir que era algo muy estricto y que allí uno iba a morir en la clase, qué sé yo. ¿Ah? Y quizás esas historias también se van repitiendo y ahora dicen lo mismo de uno, digamos, pues no, ojalá no te toque con ese profesor. Bueno, eso nomás, yo quiero saludarlos nuevamente. La librería estaba en el segundo piso de la casa central y había que hacer cola para entrar ahí. También las 5 de la tarde era un caos porque uno tenía que ir a pelear el libro, o el par de libros que estaba disponible para toda la carrera y había que entre punte y codo más o menos eh, ganar el texto, el Living English Structure, la copia que había ahí, para poder hacer los ejercicios para el día siguiente, cosa que ahora es muy distinta, ¿no? Eso, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, profesor Campos. Nos quedan 2 minutos para comentarios y preguntas, si es que alguien más tiene algo que quiera mencionar o preguntarle al profesor Parada.
Sí, buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Rodrigo Galvez. Primero que todo, decir que es un gusto ver a tantas personas, tantos profesores, tantas personas ilustres, ¿cierto?, de la carrera, de la universidad, después de tanto tiempo, y tomarme un poquito del punto que mencionaba el profesor Parada respecto de las generaciones, ¿cierto?, que es el lema que tiene, que es Connecting Generations, y contarles que en particular la Universidad de La Serena, ha estado muy presente en mi familia a través de generaciones, ¿ya? Yo estudié traducción, me hizo clase el profesor Pará, la profesora Sandra y la profesora América Cobo, ¿ya? Y como decía, es una cosa que está por generaciones en la familia, ¿cierto? Desde mi madre, mi esposa, mi hermano, mi cuñada y probablemente mi hijo mayor. Así que va a seguir estando en la familia por generación, quizás la Universidad de La Serena. En distintas carreras, por supuesto, algunas relacionadas con inglés y algunas de otras áreas de la universidad. Así que se va a mantener las generaciones probablemente. Muchas gracias por la oportunidad.
Muchas gracias, profesor Rodrigo, y muchas gracias por su testimonio y por su intervención. Ahora le voy a dar la palabra a la profesora Marian, que va a presentar a la ilustre profesora América Cobo.